What is going on, my friends? My name's Corrupt, and today we're going to be explaining to you guys the Town Hall 11 Zap Hybrid. We're going to be explaining everything about the lightning spells, how you guys can actually get pathing and value from using 3 different methods, and then also going over the hybrid and spells. So remember to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you guys don't miss any of my educational Clash of Clans content. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and first talk about the lightning spells when doing a Zap Hybrid. So what is very important is to know how many lightning spells you need when you're using this attack. This is going to depend on the base design that you're seeing and where the clan castle and other buildings are placed. For instance, like an example here, we notice that the clan castle and the eager artillery are in the same compartment. This is where we want to take advantage of it by using the lightning spells and the quake right in between it. So like you'll see in this example here, we're using 7 lightning spells, which is enough to take down both the clan castle and the eager artillery. Making sure though that it's more than enough to take down the eagle if possible. Now you only need 6 lightning spells to actively take down the clan castle. So that means that if you can't get the eagle, try to look for some other defensive buildings around that clan castle that you can also take down. What you're doing with this is you are trying to create pathing. So like you see here, we've created the pathing that we kind of need. So what we're doing is we're going to be doing a queen walk, which is one of the variations that we're going to be talking about a little bit later on. But that's going to be one way of creating some pathing and funneling specifically for the hybrid, while we use the siege barrack on the other side to create that side of the funnel. Now what we're going to be doing is breaking you guys down into really how you guys can use each of the variations like Sui Hero, Queen Walk, and Queen Charge. Now, to give you guys an example of a charge, we've got this base design right here. Now, specifically when we're talking about Queen Charge, I want you guys to really take a look at the base and see how much value can you get from a specific quadrant of the base. What do I mean by this? Well, this is going to help you really determine the best sort of way to use to kind of get some pathing from the base. So by cutting the base for the most part in half, I want you guys to really take a look at this and say, what quadrant can you take down with a Queen Charge? Now, you could probably Queen Walk into here, but with that Inferno, there's not a lot of value in there. But if we charge into here, we can take care of this entire compartment here. We can take care of this, and that would already be, for the most part, most of that quadrant. Then we could create the other side of the funnel with the siege barrack and the king if possible, and then sending in the hybrid kind of like this in between these two. Because we're already zapping away these defensive structures here. They're not going to go into the core, and that's really what you need to look for. But for the most part, the biggest thing to remember is going to be this sort of shape. You want to make sure that you're drawing this out, because that is going to help you when you're kind of trying to like look for a good area to start off with either a Queen Charge, Sui Hero, with anything of that sort. So make sure though that you guys are really getting comfortable with kind of drawing those type of lines, because it is going to help you get through a large portion of bases. So you'll see right here that what we're going to be doing is charging into this first area, which is going to be using that queen, using the super wall breaker in order to get into the multi-inferno. The main reason that we're going for this one and not the other one is because that other one only had the king in that compartment along with the inferno. So we're trying to get rid of the inferno and the rest of these defensive structure, or the rest of these buildings here. That's going to create more pathing, because the other one, there's not that many buildings in there. We want to focus on this one that has a lot more buildings. It's a lot more dense. So definitely we want to make sure that we are getting through that. So you'll see that we don't even have a rage spell for this, but we're still trying to get our queen to take down some of these defensive buildings and also trash buildings as we go through. They will slow down our miners and hogs, so we want to make sure that we are taking them down with little to no problem. Now, as we're doing this, we can create the other side of the funnel like you see here, and we can send in our miners and hogs once we have a good path set, like you see here, freezing up the queen, and that way we're able to kind of create the pathing, like I mentioned, making sure that we're able to send in our miners and hogs into this direction here, which is definitely just a little bit in both compartments or both quadrants, but it easily allows you to identify the right base design to use that charge. So usually you want to make sure that you are charging into an area where there's a big compartment basically that you can charge into, get a ton of value, keeping your queen alive and creating the pathing. So now what we're going to be doing is going ahead and taking a look at a queen walk variation and teaching you guys when to use this specifically. So now this variation is a queen walk variation. Now remember that what you're looking at specifically is going to be if you can get the clan castle down and any defensive structures surrounding it, and then using a walk to create one particular side of the base. So like you see right here, this is an expo farm. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and take down as many of these expos as we can, along with the clan castle, of course. What this is doing is creating some pathing for us for the miners and hog riders. So let's go ahead and kind of draw this out that we're clearing away this particular side here. So what we can now do is sort of create the pathing over here by creating the funnel with the king there, and then sending in the queen to kind of walk in this direction. We can then go ahead and use the siege barrack down at around 6 o'clock in order to create our pathing kind of like this. So by carving that out. So now what we're looking at here is, for the most part, we are kind of creating this sort of shape into the base, or at least for the most part, we're looking at something like this, which is easily allowing ourselves to get into that eagle artillery and kind of spreading out for the rest of the defensive buildings. That's really all we're doing. So that's what you kind of want to make sure that you're looking at, is it works on those rectangular styles of bases where you may want to use like maybe a super wall break to get in a little bit deeper. You could say that's a charge as well, and definitely you can turn that walk into a charge if you want. But if the base is a little bit more open, then definitely this works really well. Remember the sort of the cross shape, like I mentioned, making sure that you're taking a look at a specific area. So by looking at it here, there isn't one particular area where we can kind of clear up. But if we go ahead and walk this side here, then we're kind of already clearing up a large part of that quadrant, and we can go ahead and send the miners and hogs towards the eagle artillery. So again, something to keep in mind, but I just want you guys to really make sure that you guys are understanding that we want to make sure that we're sending everything in this way. So we'll see the use of the lightning spells in order to take down the clan castle and the expos around here. You want to make sure that you are taking these down, especially if they are right by the clan castle. And you can see from here, we're able to get 3 of them and the clan castle with little to no problem. Very, very simple. It's very easy to really take advantage of how these are kind of placed. By taking down some of these defensive buildings and allowing us to kind of create some pathing, our queen can walk this way and create this part of the pathing. No super wall breaker is needed. So we're already cutting this area off. We drop the siege barrack down at around 6 o'clock, and we're creating this part of the funnel as well. And what we're doing now is allowing our miners and hogs to drive in this way. Notice that the pathing is going to be very, very simple for our miners to kind of start to go in. And that's exactly what you are looking for. So keep that in mind when you are using this variation. It's that you're looking for easy pathing, like you'll see this with the hybrid going straight into the eagle artillery compartment, then kind of splitting around throughout the base. So that's exactly what you need to do when you guys are using the queen walk variation. But let's give you guys an example of how you guys can add this with the Sui Hero. Now this is going to be a style that's very common to use in terms of a lot of different situations. An example is this base design right here. Very compact. You could probably do a charge, but it's not really worth it for the most part. You could charge in, but you're trying to create pathing. If you remember, that's what you're doing. So that's the exact point that you're doing with the Sui Hero. It's nothing like getting a walk done or getting a charge done. You're specifically adding a Sui Hero just to create more pathing. That's all you're trying to do. So in this example, we're going to be zapping away the Clan Castle, Eagle Artillery, and the Single Inferno. What we can do from here is send a super wall breaker in and the queen along with an ice golem to get rid of a little bit more of the base. So what we're doing from this is clearing out this entire area of the base by making sure that we're able to create some pathing. And that what this allows us to do now is kind of for our pathing to kind of be like this for our miners and our hog riders. No charge necessary, no queen walk necessary. We don't need to bring healers, and that's the best part of a Sui hero. You just want to identify how much value can I get with just the heroes, a super wall breaker, maybe an ice golem added to that. That's what you're going to be looking for. That's going to be the main thing. That's going to be the main difference. So if you feel like you need to bring healers, it might be better just to do this with a charge. But this is a variation to where you can get a lot more value from using less army space. And this is why, in my personal opinion, I prefer this over any of them. That's exactly the reason why I usually use the Zap Hybrid with a Sui hero. So you'll see that what we're going to be using is the lightning spells right on top of the single Inferno, the Eagle Artillery, and the Clan Castle. What we're doing here is we're bringing in 2 heal spells, and that's the reason why you would bring 7, is if you can get a little bit more value other than just the Eagle and the Clan Castle, but taking out a single or multi-Inferno is just as good too. But you'll see that what we're doing from this is we're using our Sui hero in order to create more pathing. So we're using the Ice Golem to tank for the queen, a Packer to create the other side of the funnel just to force this queen in, and allowing our queen to take down as many of these defenses as possible around here. That's exactly what you're kind of seeing here. The freeze is going to help us get through, and the siege barrack is going to help create this pathing. So now what we've got here is kind of like this really good pathing now that we can enter into the base with our miners and our hog riders like you see here. That is exactly what you should be trying to do when you are doing a Sui hero. A lot more value that you saw from this one, and we didn't need to use any spells with our Sui hero, which is definitely extremely huge. Now, of course, you can do a walk, but that base is not good for a walk since of how many compartments it has. It would be better to charge in. This is why I think the Sui hero is just a little bit better, and it's able to open up a little bit more. Now let's go ahead and explain to you how you guys can use the hybrid portion when you guys are finished with getting the value and getting the pathing that you needed. So now that you guys know the 3 ways that you can get more value, more pathing for your miners and hog riders, and you know how you guys can use the other side of the funnel with the siege barrack, as I've mentioned throughout the entire sort of video, you now get to know and understand the pathing here for your miners and hog riders. So remember that when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're looking at the base and saying how many structures are around there that are going to cause the miners and hogs to split. Are there any? In this case here, that's the reason why we're bringing just a couple more miners. We're bringing like 1 more miner extra because we want to make sure that the miners for the most part are still getting tanked for by the hog riders. So in this example here, we want to make sure that they're being sent in this way. That way we're able to take down these and still get that pathing that we need for the hybrid. So that means that what we're looking at here is we want to make sure that they're kind of going out like this, by funneling them in here and then allowing them to kind of spread out throughout the base with that queen still alive and charging her way into the other multi-inferno, which will definitely help us on the back end of the base. So that's exactly what you will be seeing from here, is by making sure that we're able to get right in order to take these down. So we're going to drop in the miners first. That way we can send them in and make sure that the hog riders are getting right up to speed with the miners as they move through, using that king ability in order to get through the other storages to make sure that the miners and hogs are staying in. You'll see right here that we dropped in a heal spell, which is again very important. The thing to do with spells in this attack strategy is you want to use 1 or 2 before your Grand Warden ability, because you want to have enough to get to the back end of the base. So right here, you'll see that we're dropping in that heal spell in order to protect the miners and hogs as we move through. We're not using the Warden ability until about an area to where we're getting hit by a large portion of defensive buildings like you see here. And as we're still moving through, we want to use the heal spells. We want to make sure that we're keeping the miners and hog riders alive, but we still have one last heal in order to allow ourselves to get through. The heal spells are really all you're going to be using to protect your miners and hog riders. So you want to make sure that you are using them for the splash damage defenses like the wizard towers, the multi-infernos, the eagle artillery. That is definitely very, very important. You want to make sure that you're saving at least one heal for the back end. So use at least one at the start, use the Grand Warden ability, and then make sure that you're able to then use the other two later on the back end. That way you have enough. Now, if you're using 7 lightning spells and a quake, then remember to use your heal, warden, and then heal. So that is going to be what you guys should be trying to do when you guys are doing this attack. But hopefully, this gives you guys an idea when you guys are using both these spells and when you guys are using the hybrid. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Hopefully you guys did learn something from this entire thing. And definitely, I hope that this kind of makes a lot more sense to you guys. Zap hybrid, very similar to hybrid. I would say only just a little bit stronger. So if you guys did enjoy, remember to share with your clanmates so that they can learn this attack strategy a lot better, and definitely they can become better attackers by definitely watching this video. And don't forget to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're new or if you want to see more content like this. And remember to ring that notification bell so you guys don't miss any of my educational Clash of Clans content. Don't forget to go ahead and follow me on the social on Twitter and Instagram. And don't forget to follow me over on Twitch, as that is where I'm going to be doing all my streams from 11v11 all the way up to 13v13 ESL style wars. Also, don't forget, guys, to go ahead and join my community Discord server. Join any of the clans I cover within the game. The Discord server links, including mine, is also in the description below. And don't forget to use code CorruptYT in the Clash Champs shop to save 10% off your purchase. Hope you guys did enjoy, and I will be seeing you guys next time. Corrupt, signing out.